yard that was smoldering, and inside of it the cadaver dogs found remnants of jeans, underwear, and steel-toed boots that had been burned. There's a myriad of DNA evidence that connected Zachariah to the crime, but all of that's laid out within the trial. I'm just giving you the synopsis. There's also footage of him going to a landfill with a bunch of what seemed to be trash in the bed of his truck. And he goes to the landfill the day of the murder, and then he leaves the landfill with nothing in the truck. Oh, and just to add to my theory of how manipulative this guy could be, at one point he gave his daughter, who testified against him in trial, he gave her a cell phone. And his instructions for the cell phone were,
I want you to record mommy whenever she gets upset, and I want you to leave this cell phone somewhere.
And that cell phone was left underneath his ex-girlfriend's car in the seat. That's just a couple of tidbits, but, you know, you decide. Look, I have to tell you some of those baseline things before I show you this clip of Zachariah, because I already know the hybristophiliacs are coming out. Oh, and if you don't believe that the hybristophiliacs are coming out, I apologize. We're moving into TikTok edit territory, but I gotta show you this one. Anderson and his attorney were flirting. Now, it's good to have good rapport with your attorney, but you decide. Does this seem a little more flirty? So there he is. There's Anderson getting up. That's the attorney. Look, for me, okay, like, she looking a little too happy here. Oh, we got secrets? What the is this? What is this? As a commentator and somebody presenting things about true crime to you, some people are going to say, well, Bose, yeah, it's a little weird, but that doesn't really mean anything. And I understand that. I should be a little bit less biased. But as a woman, I saw that. I saw all of that. Let's take a look at his statement where he claims he's innocent. The judge is basically asking him if he has anything else to say. And his response is, how much time do I got? Like, all right, buddy.
This is one of the major events of your life, so you're certainly welcome to speak. I'm not going to say it's unlimited, but you're welcome to tell me what you think. Speak from your heart.
I don't want to go into all the details of the case. We got a lot of dispute about what was said, what was portrayed. I think the facts, with a little more scrutiny, tell a much different story than what the jury decided. And I don't think that things played out fairly.
This is a man that's been able to calmly talk his way out of everything in his entire life.
There's some things that are not just from our side, questions outstanding for both sides. And I don't think the court accomplished what it set out to do in any means if both sides are left with so many questions. And I don't think, without going into the case, I don't think we really got to the heart of the matter. What I can tell you
Okay, I'm sorry. Bro, stop being manipulated by people that are speaking calmly, okay? Have you guys ever been in a scenario where you are frustrated? You know you're in the right, but it's like you're chasing down the other person to get in the right lane. And then they start talking all calm and condescending and matter of fact. And I can see you're upset, and I don't really know why, but ooh, dude. For people that get really emotionally wound up, they end up comparing themselves to the other person's calmness, and it's almost like a tactic of, what are you so upset about right now? And that can really make people doubt themselves, and it seems like that's what he does. Now, I also want to mention this really quick. I already know, y'all. I already know that there's some of y'all out here that are like,
Ooh, little broken bird, a countryman. He's been wronged. I can help. He just needs me. I'ma start writing to him in jail, and he gonna be my man.
I already know that some of y'all are on that shit. And honestly, y'all. Y'all, straight up.
I didn't kill anybody. What I can tell you is, I didn't stalk anybody.
You did,
What I
though!
can tell you is, I didn't dispose of any corpse. It's really weird to be sentenced for or convicted for it and soon to be sentenced for it, but I didn't, Judge.
Why I feel like I'm in an old
Feels like
relationship
there's
right
no turning
now.
around on that now. I don't really know how to make a better statement of my opposition. But I disagree. I'm innocent. I don't know what you're going to decide. I don't know what you're all going to weigh. I don't even know how to represent my own character without having my family
You
Whoever
can't.
testified.
Your actions and your daughter testifying against you said a whole lot.
Even during the trial, there was a gentleman who tried to come up and talk to me. I think there was a comment about how now everything has happened during the trial. When he made that attempt, nobody really knew who he was, and I do know who he is. He's a man who I saved from assault in jail. He's actually related to one of the jailers, and my heart
What are
went
you
out to him
talking
because I
about?
know he appeared inebriated, and I know he struggles.
What are you talking about?
And I know he was coming up here to talk to me because we got along so good. But those tiny little moments throughout somebody's life, nobody accounts for those.
You know what he's saying? Hey, all this big stuff I did that was really bad, that was presented in front of trial, what about the little times that I was a good guy? Like the time that I saved that guy from getting beat up in jail. Sir, why were you in jail? Think about the time that I saved that guy, that little moment. You're not gonna count that?
But what they do a really good job of is making up all of these things that they want you to believe when they can label you as a monster. I still didn't. It's still weird. I want to be remorseful, and I am for the things that I did wrong. You're welcome to sentence me for everything that I did wrong.
God, this
just
is
like the judge in South
textbook
Dakota.
manipulation. The person that will take the accountability for really, really small things, whether they initially take the accountability or if it's presented so matter-of-factly that they're forced to take the accountability. And they say, well, I admit that. I did that, and I'm sorry. I take a lot of pride in admitting this thing. And then the big elephant in the room, they're like, what elephant, you
The only thing that I disputed in that instance was whether or not I was coming back to Wisconsin with that, which the prosecution has now repeatedly made false statements about on their own assumptions, hoping that everybody in this courtroom, everybody that's watching this, would buy, oh yeah, he was bringing something back to Wisconsin. Not true. Was I caught with marijuana in my car? Yeah.
little
Yeah,
admittings.
I was. Should I have? No. I bend the rules there, broke them. Broke the rules. And when they said, hey, this is a problem, I said, well, I did knowingly, and I'll be held accountable for it. That's it. And if I killed somebody, whatever that situation was, I can tell you in my own heart it wouldn't be intentional.
What do you mean by that?
If you're on trial for murder, let me ask you this. First of all, would you be acting like him, all calm, cool, and collected? Y'all know what I would be doing? I'd be sitting there in my little orange jumpsuit, and I'd be like, help! Help! Somebody help me! This is crazy! I wouldn't be sitting here talking about what did he just say? Well, and if I did kill that guy, whatever the scenario was, no! Help! Help me!
I don't really know what this is, but I didn't do it. I'm innocent, Judge.
I don't know what this is. You just sat through the whole trial.
Not guilty. I'm innocent.
Wow. I had only seen a snippet of that, and it was shocking to me how many people in the comments they were like,
Well, did he really do it? Did he really?
also, if you guys are interested in that trial, I would be down to, put it together and watch the whole thing. So you let me know and we'll talk about it, because I would love to see the evidence presented at length. So ultimately, the jury did decide to convict him, and he was sentenced to life in prison. That whole speech that you heard, it didn't do nothing for the judge. They found him guilty on all criminal charges, including first-degree intentional homicide, because it was planned. He was also convicted of stalking, as he should be. But one thing I thought was pretty interesting, the district attorney that was prosecuting him, trying to put him away, they said, what are the chances in this exact square foot on planet Earth, a man who is innocent and falsely accused would have the blood of a man who died on May 17th on him? How could that happen? How could that happen? We'll just go over this pretty briefly because we talked about this a little bit on the stream recently.
Verdict. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows.
Girl, come on.
Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan
It's first.
and grand theft by deception?
Oh, shit.
Answer, guilty.
Yes!
Not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Kylie Ryan.